Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today, as we continue our tour of the library, I thought we'd come over to the history section and particularly to the Egyptian shelf. Egypt has been one of the great loves of my life, and I've been studying it pretty much as long as I can remember. And this is a selection of my Egyptian collection. Not all of it is here, but some of my favorite books are, and I thought I would share a couple of them with you. There are a lot of good books on this shelf, including the Complete Temples of Ancient Egypt and Gardner's Egyptian Grammar, among other very good books. But the two books I thought I'd show you today are the Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt, and it is by Margaret Bunson. And let me just quickly check the publisher for you. And it is from Gramercy Books in New York. And it was put out in, what year was it put out in? It was put out in 1991. And it came into my hands probably about the year 2000, maybe a little bit later. And I am very fond of this book. It is exactly what it says. It's an encyclopedia of ancient Egypt with many interesting articles on a wide range of topics from ancient Egypt. And so you can see they have hand illustrated it with drawings rather than photographs, which I assume probably has to do with the cost of copyrighting photographs and the cost of reproducing them. I don't know, but there are many drawings depicting Egyptian artifacts, and they depict them fairly faithfully. And the articles cover a wide range of subjects, from people and locations to historical events and timelines. And if you wanted a good overview of ancient Egyptian culture and history, I would recommend this book as a very good one to consult. And when I first got it, I questioned some of the illustrations because they did not necessarily conform to anything that I had seen in some cases, but with further research I found that they were simply lesser-known works, and in fact were reproduced quite accurately within the context of the skill of the artist. So I would recommend this book highly, particularly for a casual student of ancient Egypt. It is not what I would call deeply scholarly, but it's very accurate and very interesting to read through. So that's the first book I want to share with you today. And the second one, right next to it on the shelf, is Conversations with Mummies by Rosalie David. And Rosalie David is the conservator of the Egyptian department of the Museum of Manchester, and she is in that capacity the successor to Margaret Murray, who wrote many seminal works on what has become the Wiccan religion. And she talks about Murray as an Egyptologist in the book, which is very interesting just by itself because Murray was highly respected in that field. But beyond this, it's a very good book on the collections of the museum and on the idea of mummification and Egyptian burial rites and Egyptian culture in general. And she approaches this by examining several individual cases of specific mummies that are there at the museum, and it's just very fascinating. So I highly recommend this book as well. And the last book that I will recommend today is The Treasures of Ancient Egypt, the collection of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. And I got this within the last 10 years, which I'm sure is when it was put out. And it's from VMB Publishers. And what it is a photo collection with articles of every piece in the collection of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. And in this, it is a wonderful overview of Egyptian history and art. And if you wanted to study Egyptian art, I can't think of a better book to recommend for it because of its scope and depth in examining Egyptian art from many different periods. So I highly recommend it. I will say that the English that is used in the book is on occasion a touch awkward. It obviously, I would say, was not the first language of the people putting the book together, but I don't consider that to be a huge impediment. It's not bad, it's just occasionally awkward. And if you are looking to study Egyptian history in a literary sense, this is not the book for you. But if you're looking to study it in an artistic sense, this is a perfect book. And even if you're just an artist who enjoys Egyptian artwork and wants to find inspiration this is a wonderful book, and you can see some of the kind of things that are in it. And it's just extremely inclusive, extremely in-depth, and very, very interesting. So those are the three books that I will share with you today. The Treasures of Ancient Egypt from, again, VMB Publishers. The Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt from Gramercy Books. And Conversations with Mummies, which is a Black Walnut book. And I hope you found those three volumes interesting, and in our next installment we'll look at some more. And until next time, may you blessed be.